I typically fly a lot. I take about 100 segments a year. And last year I found myself flying out of RDU, which is our local airport. And it was the shortest flight of my life. We had just gotten up. We were about 4 minutes into the flight. We had already kind of made the turn to go into the direction that we were heading. And all of a sudden, I could see the plane literally do a 180. And I looked at the person sitting next to me. I said, that's typically not a good idea. And I looked out the window, and there, sitting below me, was the place we had just left literally minutes ago. Not too long after that, when my knuckles started getting white, the pilot came on. And he said, "Don't panic." He said, "But we've lost all of the guidance systems in the entire plane. We have to go back to the airport at RDU." And so good news, they made another bank. They got back to the airport. We landed. And I was heading to a speaking engagement. So now I'm starting to get worried about, this plane's not going to get me there. How am I going to get to the city I need to go to? So right when we land, of course, I take out my mobile phone. I fire up my phone, and right there is, from the airline I fly, there's an email that says, "Hey, we know that there's an issue with your flight. Here are the different ways that you can rebook." One of them, they said, go to your app. So I fire up the app. There's a little notice there that says, "Hey, we know that you just had this inconvenience. Here are 1 or 2 potential flight options for you. In fact, you can just rebook by pressing a button." I thought that was pretty good. I rebooked very quickly. It was a relief that I wasn't going to have to immediately stand in line somewhere. And then I realized, am I going to be able to make that connection? I ended up calling the call center for the airline. And immediately when they picked up the phone for me, they said, "Hello, Mr. Phelps. We know that you're at Raleigh right now. We know there's an interruption with your flight. We can see that you've rebooked." And then I talked through them with different options of maybe getting on a quicker flight to get to the city I needed to go to. And then, of course, as I was on the runway, I had kind of tweeted about the experience that I had, kind of this 8-minute flight, the shortest flight in my life. And within 5 minutes, someone from the airline had replied to my tweet. And I thought to myself, this is an airline I fly all the time, but literally they had nailed it in every different channel, and they created a seamless experience for me.